Hey everyone, Rob here with Gunfather Milsim. Been a while since I've made a video. Been busy working quite a bit. Also been busy moving to a new house. Thus, I kind of have a new studio, aka the basement of a new house. I bought a marker board. We're going to use that in the future on some other videos. Today, the video I'm bringing you is a gun review on the CYMA Platinum SR-25. Now, I bought this gun about a month ago. With the intention of making it into an AEG DMR. Now, I haven't tried a DMR build on an AEG in a very long time. It used to be something I tinkered with back in the day with ICS. I always used version 2 gearboxes, and I always had a problem because those gearboxes aren't really made to perform at a higher level, that higher FPS, at 450 FPS DMR limit over a long period of time. Most stock guns can't handle that. As my old man used to tell me, you can make a small dog shit fast, but he won't shit long. That's in reference to turbocharging, motors, but it applies here as well. The thing about this gun, when I did my research, I was looking for a gun to turn into a DMR, an AEG, and I was looking for a version 2.5 gearbox. Now, if you're not familiar with 2.5, basically it's a version 2 gearbox with a longer piston and a longer cylinder, so thus there's a more air volume there, and you can make more power, a higher FPS, with less effort on the motor and less wear and tear on the gears. Thus it lasts longer, and it's really, if you're going to build a DMR that's an AEG, the version 2.5 gearbox is the way to go. At least that's my theory, that's my opinion, and that's what I'm going to try to do with this gun here. Now, CYMA makes very good guns, but generally their line is entry-level guns, good beginner guns. Their AK line in particular is very good. However, this gun is their Platinum series, which came out a couple of years ago. It's a more expensive, higher quality than their typical entry-level guns. At least that's what they say it is. I paid $260 for this gun on Evike. I just checked yesterday on Evike. It's now $200 on sale. Lucky you if you want to pick it up. So what do I think overall? The external build quality is actually very good, especially for the money. The upper and lower receiver in particular are very well made. They're very light. The gun is overall a very light package. The trades on the receiver are pretty clever, pretty cool. I'm not a big guy when it comes to trades. I'm not a big fan. It doesn't really matter that much to me, but some people are really into trades. And the trades are etched into the, I believe it's aluminum receiver, and they look really sharp. Comes with the rear sling mount. Comes with fairly good flip-up iron sights. They have a real positive click up and down. They're made of metal. I think they're good quality. The flash hider, I like it. It's pretty good. There was an orange plastic cap on here that I had to remove with some grub screws and stuff. I had to take them off, but generally speaking, the orange tip on it was easy to remove. There's no painting I had to do with that, which is pretty consistent with CYMA's. This rail system, it's M-LOK. I love M-LOK. Key mod is deader than disco. The world has gone to M-LOK. Get over it. It's superior, and Magpul just controls too much of the market. So personally, I like my guns to have M-LOK, and this gun has that excellent rail system from the get-go. One negative about this rail system, it's held on by two very small grub screws right there. One thing I found when I was disassembling this rifle and removing the rail system, those grub screws are very short. I see them being a point of failure in the future. I don't have a high expectation of them never wiggling or moving or this coming off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll work great forever, but in my opinion, it looked like a weak point for me. Moving on back to the rifle, dust cover does lock back to the rear, gives you access to the hop-up chamber. You can hit the bolt release, bolt goes forward. Not really anything close to a real firearm, but it's a nice feature that it functions, it works. The selector switch is very stiff, good tactile feel, stays put, doesn't float. It's really nice, it feels really nice. However, when you disassemble it, on both sides, there's a small spring and a kind of a small ball bearing that are very easy to lose. And every time you take the gearbox out of this gun, you have to remove that selector switch just a note of caution, be real careful you don't lose those. All right, moving back, pistol grip. It's a nice pistol grip. It's kind of got a rubberized texture to it. It's good quality. I like it. The stock leaves much to be desired. I think it's kind of cheap. Not really a fan of it. There's a button back here, opens up so you can put your batteries in there. Nice large battery compartment. It's just the actual quality of the stock is pretty cheap in my opinion. When you press the button here to move back and forth, it doesn't work. You gotta pull down in order to get this thing to move. So it's just, in my opinion, poorly made. I'll probably replace it with a Magpul stock in the future. Now, what are some of the cool features internally of this gun? First off, it comes from the factory with a MOSFET. When you plug in the battery, it makes some beeps, let you know it's ready to go. The trigger response is very crisp on 11.1 LiPo. It's very pleased with it. The internal gearbox is very well made, well built. Pheas Airsoft did a very good review of it, took the whole damn gun apart. I'm going to put a link to it below and not waste everybody's time. I'm not going to take the gearbox apart in this gun until I have to, because it's kind of a difficult process, more difficult than a typical AEG to get this thing taken apart. But he did a very good review of it, and the internals appear to be of very high quality. The wiring in particular is not your standard AEG wiring. It's a little bit thicker, well made. I just think the wiring looks very good compared to your standard AEG. Once again, stock gave me a little bit of trouble. One of the coolest features on this gun, with the exception of the version 2.5 gearbox, is it has a quick change spring system. Now, lots of AEGs have quick change spring systems, but this one in particular, I think, is really quick, really easy. Basically, you unscrew this castle nut, you turn the stock, pull it off, and then you just unscrew one bolt in the back, and out comes your spring. Very nice for a DMR when you're going to be trying to get real close to that 450 FPS, and you're going to be adding and removing springs depending on, getting right up to the limit. You don't want to be pulling out your gearbox every time to do it. That would be a nightmare. So the quick change gearbox is excellent. One thing I think might be a problem in the future is the way this stock is held on. When you tighten up the castle nut, basically it pulls the stock back, and there's that tension is what holds this stock in place. It has to be that way for the quick change spring to work, so I understand why they did it. I don't have a lot of faith in that being very sturdy over the long term. I kind of have reservations about the durability of that design. Maybe it'll work great, just like my two Grub Screws up here. Maybe it'll work great and it'll hold up forever. I don't have a lot of confidence in it. So one of my other gripes about the gun. QD mounts here and here, good touch. QD mounts are nice. Generally well-rounded build, well thought out. Nice full-length monolithic rail. It's a nice build. So performance, how does it perform? Average. Out of the box, average performance. For me, it was about 424 FPS, plus or minus 1 or 2. One of my pet peeves about this gun, the main gripe, the hop-up is atrocious. It's a cheap plastic hop-up. It has a unique kind of nub that's kind of like an hourglass. I don't know how else to describe it. I'll throw a photo up here. I just found it was difficult to use. It got fairly good performance bone stock, but I'm not going to leave this bone stock. I want to make it to a 450 FPS DMR. I made the mistake of debridging the barrel, because I debridge all the barrels in my guns, and it turns out that plastic hop-up did not like it when you debridge the barrel. And I went from having 425 FPS with plus or minus 1 or 2 to about 410 plus or minus 5. So obviously I have an air seal issue. It just wasn't really performing well anymore. I'm going to upgrade the hop-up anyway to a max hop. We'll see how that works. It's probably the first upgrade I'm going to do. But, if you're going to buy this gun and you don't want to buy a whole new hop-up, don't mess with the barrel. Keep it stock. Stock, it has a 603 Type 4 barrel. It's made of brass. I'm sure it performs just fine. So, that is all I have on performance of this gun. So what are my final thoughts overall about this gun? If you're going to purchase it to be a platform gun to build a DMR, it's probably a very good gun for that purpose. And I could be wrong. I'm going to do a kind of a build video on it, on where I get to it in the end. But I have a high confidence that with the version 2.5 gearbox and the quality of the internals, that I can turn this into a very effective DMR, an excellent DMR. However, if you're a new player and you want to buy a gun just to be good out of the box and never mess with it, I'm hard pressed to recommend this gun, just because of the concerns that I have, that I've mentioned, the cheapness of the stock, just the 2 Grub Screws holding this on. I don't think long term that's going to hold together very well. And honestly, the performance out of the box is average. And I just don't think, if you're not going to upgrade it, there's better guns out there for your money. So that is my 2 cents on the CYMA SR-25. It does come with a high cap, just one high cap. I took it off for the video because I don't want all that damn noise. So that's all I got on the CYMA Platinum SR-25. Got any comments or questions, just put them in the comment section below. We can talk about it, and thanks for watching.